And welcome to the 43rd episode of the TechnoBuffalo Show. I'm one of your two hosts for today, Sean Ani, editor-in-chief of the site, and I'm joined by managing deputy, deputy managing editor Todd Hazelton.
Hey, everybody.
I'm not
I'll be
quite
the managing
sure.
deputy of these parts.
You're managing the other deputies.
The Wild West.
Exactly. Get yourself some sarsaparilla and hang alone. So, how are you doing this week, Todd?
I'm good. It's a good week.
Yes, it's always a good week at TechnoBuffalo.
Yep.
I mean, the folks in Irvine aren't rubbing in my face at all the cool things they're going to do this week that I would love to go do.
Like the Avengers premiere.
The Avengers premiere John went to on Monday night, and then Roy on Tuesday went to Disneyland for a press event.
60th anniversary, right?
Yeah, for the 60th anniversary. There will be a post about that going up in a little bit. And then this week, at the end of the week, they're going to Star Wars Celebration. And sorry, this is still not enough to make me move out to Irvine.
Up in Anaheim, right?
Yeah, up in Anaheim. But I'm sorry. I'm not going to be moving to California anytime soon. But they've kind of the need for me to move there has been somewhat eliminated this week at TechnoBuffalo.
That's right. We should talk about our new friend in the office,
which we have not named yet. We need to give him a name.
It does need to have a name. What we're talking about is a robot, and we'll fight over the term robot maybe a little bit, but we have a robot in the office. It's one of the what do they call it? It's like telepresence robots, where you can dial in through your web browser like we do, and then all of a sudden I'm walking around the office on the robot's iPad screen. I can control it with the arrows on the keyboard and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, we have learned, though, do lower the mast when you're going to move because it gets wobbly.
It tips over.
Or you can be like Joey and run into the refrigerator.
Well, what I was doing the other day is our managing editor, Roy, is out there, and I was just running into his office window.
Well, I got into Roy's office the other day. I was like, I'm here to have a meeting. He goes, we can have it once you close the door. I'm like, that's just that's making fun of my lack of robotic arms.
Yeah.
But there will be coverage of the robot coming up and all that. But I was talking with Ralph, our video producer, yesterday, and I was like, calling it a robot seems a little bit of a stretch. It's more like a really fancy remote controlled car.
Yeah, with an iPad that cruises on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, okay, let's put it this way. To me, the definition of a robot is something that works without assistance, or once you've programmed it, can work without assistance.
Right. Instead, this is completely controlled by the user.
Exactly.
Car.
So, like, a Roomba to me is an actual robot.
Mm-hmm.
The little vacuums that move around, because all I do with my Roomba is I push the start button and I walk away.
Right.
Well, except when I have to come back and empty its bin. But
take it to the bathroom.
Exactly. But to me, that's a robot. But
right.
Something that I have to sit here and it's not going to move around the office without me hitting the cursor keys is something that's just remote controlled.
Right.
Yeah, and it's cool that I can sit in Missouri and control this thing, halfway across the country.
Yeah. And, well, you've been out to the office, but I haven't been out to the new one yet, so I got to explore it. It's just amazing what we can do now.
Oh, yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I think this is an awesome idea. I don't know how many use cases there really are for this thing, though. I mean, I could see like it being used in hospitals. If you ever notice that everything that I'm a little questionable on, I'm like, well, there's medical uses.
Yeah. That's why medical tech is so huge.
I know. I always have a medical use for everything. But in general, I mean, TechnoBuffalo is a unique situation that we have so many remote workers. There's you, Joey, me, Eric, Ron, who's in Japan, Jacob, who's with you in New York.
Yep.
So there's a lot of us that are not in the Irvine office. That being said, I hope they never put a telepresence robot here.
John's walking around our apartments.
Yeah, John's just like, right here behind me as I write, what are you doing?
What you doing?
Are you sure about that headline?
So great. Sachin Bahal asked what brand is
Sachin,
right. It's Double Robotics, I believe.
Yeah, it's Double Robotics. It's called the Double, which I have to say it took me 2 or 3 minutes before. Oh, it's like my double is there. Okay, right. Now I get it.
The twin.
Yeah. But no, it's cool. We control it from a web browser. You can control it from a phone or a tablet, but I think that would be a little bit more difficult, especially on knowing when to release the cursor and all that. But
right.
No, it's fun, but it made me really start to think about the definition of robotics and all that. And I don't know if you've heard any of there's been a lot of talk lately about people are getting honestly afraid of the concept of robots and artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the BBC News the other day was running a special where there had been some sort of symposium where people were talking about how we're letting this get too far.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, you do have to worry about all that kind of stuff.
Well, I think these are people that have watched Terminator a few too many times.
Yeah, but Google's got those killer war robots, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
I think there's a lot of potential. Well, unless of course you watch Battlestar Galactica, where they were helpful robots before they became the murderous robots. But I think there's a lot of uses for robots. I think there's a lot of jobs they can do that are too dangerous for humans or pose a significant risk to humans. But I don't know. I'm not the doomsayer that a lot of people are when it comes to robotics and artificial intelligence.
Yeah, well, I'm not either when they're trained for, regular things, but when they're trained for military use, that's kind of scary.
Right. And Sachin Bahal is also asking, what are we guys going to use the double robot for? There's actually a personal reason that the double robot is in the office that I won't go into. It's not anything horrible. It's just not my story to tell. But we'll also be doing coverage on it, and it'll be an ability for those of us that are as odd as it is. It did feel. I mean, even though we have Skype and all that, we do video calls with each other all the time. It felt slightly more natural.
It did. It's weird because you're like interacting with their environment, sort of.
Yeah, it shocked me how much more natural, because I was like, oh, this is so silly. And then once I started controlling it, it was kind of cool because when I logged in yesterday just to play around, John's wife and son were visiting and I was able to interact with Nathan.
Oh, cool.
Which it was funny. They kept telling Nathan, and remember, everyone, Nathan is under 2 years old. He's going to be 2 in September, I believe. And, they kept going, well, Nathan, look, it's Sean. And he walked over to my office I use when I'm out there and pointed at the fat head. For those that don't know, there's a giant foam cutout of my head that hangs on the wall. But so he knew who Sean was. He just thought it was the fat head. But no, it was cool that, if, John walked to another part of the office, I can turn and I can follow John. And, right. John wanted to show me something in the studio and I was able to roll into the studio, although it took a while to get there. But I was proud of myself. I got through the door on the first try. So.
All right. Yeah, it's hard to know when you're controlling the robot, depth. Because I was pulling up to a desk and I didn't know if I was going to hit it or how far away I am, because you're looking straight, it's sort of through a window. You can't look down, up or down, though you can adjust the height.
Did you know there actually is a way to look down at the wheels?
Yeah. But it's just like a
Okay.
camera switch, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, it's a camera switch.
You can't
Yeah, but no, I ran into Ron's trash can the other day, so and then I ran into the corner of somebody's desk at one point. But no, it's cool, and I for one welcome our robot overlords.
Yeah.
But the big topic we wanted to tackle today, and like I said last week, folks, we're going to try some different topics here simply because coming out once a week, it's not as quickly as phone news comes out sometimes, or new major phone releases. But this week, Todd and I every Tuesday we're like, what do we want to talk about on the show this week? And I'm not even sure what made us think of it, but what mobile games we play.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we can talk about.
It's Hearthstone. Hearthstone coming to the phone that made us.
Yeah, that's right, because that launched yesterday for iOS and Android phones. I mean, it's already been on tablets. Right. And I've played that. I've been playing a bunch of other games. I thought, maybe that's a fun topic, and hopefully people can make some recommendations for us here too.
Yeah, I enjoy Hearthstone. I play it on the desktop. I play it on the iPad. Not that often, but I do play it. I was a big time Magic the Gathering player, so I like being able to play customizable card games on the go. Joey was playing Hearthstone on his phone today and said it was like you could watch the battery meter going down.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
that is not a light game,
right?
With all of the graphics and all of that. So I'm not surprised that it's going to drain phones rapidly. But no, I do enjoy Hearthstone. What are some of the games that you played the most?
Well, I recently just started getting back into, because I played it when it was first released, but Vainglory on my iPad and on my iPhone. And that's one of the games that Apple they brought the developers up on stage during, I think it was last year's WWDC, and to show off Metal, their new sort of graphics thing. And the graphics are impressive, but I love the game. It's sort of like a League of Legends style game, and you have your hero and then these minions sort of going at it, and then your goal is to eventually you break down their guns and their turrets rather, and then you sort of conquer their base. But it's like 4 people, I guess, or up to 6, I think, multiplayer. And I'm just like getting back into it, but. And so everybody's characters sort of have a specialty, and you do different things on the map, and you try to conquer the other people. But I've been having a lot of fun with it. And it kind of reminds me of a game that John Quach, who used to work here, would be really good at. Like lots of tapping. Somebody who's good at StarCraft or something would probably have, pretty good skills in this type of game. But a lot of fun.
Yeah, I tried playing League of Legends.
Yeah, I tried that too.
I was like, nope. Not happening.
Same idea, just in mobile. But it's one of those games, and maybe this is something we could talk about too, that you kind of need to be like sitting down on the couch, or you can even have a better experience just like putting it down on the counter and sort of tapping down on it. It's not one that I would really play on the subway. A, you need a connection, but B, like you get really into it. And so like there's these 2 types of games, right? Like my subway games, I'll call them, and my like at home on the couch, or when I'm really going to focus games.
That you bring up a great point about needing a connection, because that is something that drives me bonkers. Like say I fly a lot, and I've been playing Simpsons Tapped Out for like 2 years. I cannot play Simpsons Tapped Out if I don't have internet.
Right.
And that drives me nuts. I'm on a tablet, fine. I'm on a plane, like flying to England or whatever, for 6-7 hours, and I can't play my game. So I've had to add games that I know for sure. Like, I love playing Risk. So I've got Risk on my iPad. Luckily that one I can play without an internet connection.
Right.
But any of my main games I play, nope, have to have an internet connection. And I understand the need for cloud saves and verification and all that, but give you like a 12-hour window where you don't have to log in or something.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the worst part I've had about travel, is especially the games where like internet connection is not required to actually play the game. It's just like the verification stuff. That drives me bonkers. I'll download a game, get on the plane, launch the game, excited to get into it, and then it's like, like needs connection or something. And I'm like, great, like I just Now what am I going to do the rest of the flight? Because I was planning on playing all these new games. Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't like I said, I mean, I understand, okay, yeah, it needs to save to the cloud and all that, but do some sort of local management for like a window of time.
Yeah, like once a day or something,
Yeah, exactly. It's annoying, especially when, okay, and this leads us to another topic we wanted to touch on, freemium games, free to play games. Yes, some of these games you have downloaded for free and you may have never paid a dime into. I have paid money into playing Simpsons Tapped Out.
Yeah.
But, okay, so fine. I've paid for this. I should be able to access it when I want to access it.
Right.
That's what drives me bonkers. Now, if I've never paid a dime into a game, like I sometimes play Frozen Freefall, fine. Don't give me an extra feature.
Right.
Totally understand, not a problem. But if I'm pumping money into a game, let me play without it, internet for 2 minutes.
No, it's true.
I want to get my characters off tasks, and I'm halfway over the Atlantic Ocean.
One game that's free and I actually haven't bought, but you can buy to sort of help you along the way if you can't beat the puzzles. But it's called Two Dots. It's on Android and iOS. My only complaint is that it syncs perfectly across all Android devices and across all iOS devices, but not across the two. So if I'm playing it on an Android phone and then I want to pick it up on my iPhone, I'm like 5 levels back. I'm progressing on both of them together, which is kind of frustrating. I kind of wish there was a cross-platform sort of sync. But that's a good game people should check out if you haven't already. Two Dots, it's called.
We've got a good question here from Sachin Bahal. For mobile games, would you prefer a game like Candy Crush or Trivia Crack that was free but in-app purchase, or a game like GTA San Andreas that you pay a certain price and has no in-app purchases whatsoever? I would prefer to just pay a one-time fee and be done.
Yeah, I'm the same way, definitely. Although I liked Candy Crush, and Trivia Crack's a fun game, but yeah, I'm the same way. I don't want to have to pay for things. Ever.
Oh, I didn't know you play Trivia Crack. We may have to we may have to friend each other on there.
Yeah, but like I totally understand games that you play it and then maybe you want extra levels or something like that, then that's fine. I just think, the freemium, and then it's like when you can't get any further, or like it's painstakingly difficult unless you pay money, that's frustrating.
Right. Well, like Frozen Freefall, which for those that aren't familiar with it, it's just your standard Connect 3 game with a Disney Frozen, skin over it. Mm-hmm. But there was one stage I got stuck on for like 2 weeks. I was like, nope, not paying.
Yeah, that's right.
Not gonna happen.
Which is kind of the joy in that too. Like when I'm at a level on Two Dots now, and I get on the subway, and I know it's going to be hard to beat. And it really takes up my time, and I like that. So,
yeah, I do know people that pay for. Like I said, yes, I do pay in Simpsons Tapped Out. What I'm doing is I'm buying the premium, buildings or characters stuff, or whatever. Yeah. But in a puzzle type game, I just cannot bring myself to pay for that stuff.
Right.
Because at that point it becomes like I'm going to show you this game is not going to get the better of me.
Yeah. And you can see where it becomes like a requirement too, like, oh, every time I get stuck, I'm just going to pay for it. And then like, it almost takes the fun out of it. Like I said, I kind of look forward to getting on the subway and playing that difficult level that I just can't beat.
Right. Exactly. But I don't know. From Brezen Franco, what do you think of the new Humble Origin bundle and the Humble Mobile bundle? I haven't
checked them out yet either.
Yeah, I need to check those out, but I will definitely check those out. This just made me laugh when it came in a few moments ago.
I saw it too.
From Sean the Man 34, is it true that Todd and John are going to the Star Wars premiere in December?
It's not true.
Talk about that. For those that don't know, when John got invited to the Avengers premiere, I was not able to go out there because it didn't make financial sense. And I said, but if you get invited to the Star Wars Force Awakens premiere, I'm I'm going with you. I will find some way to be there. And John was like, sure, no problem. Now, mind you, folks, we have not been invited to the premiere as of yet. I highly doubt we're going to get invited to the premiere. This was just wishful discussion going on between John and me. And so then yesterday, a conversation started up on Twitter suggesting that I wasn't going, that Todd was going to take my place. And Todd was even suggesting that they go to dinner beforehand, and they might get to the movie a little late.
Rolling late, yeah.
Yeah, rolling late. Not that big of a deal. And I'm sitting there going, I will cut a person. I will cut somebody. Mark my words. Yeah. I may not look like it, but I will cut it. I will cut it.
We're not really going. We were just messing with Sean. But maybe we'll go. It just won't be me.
Jumping in from some of the other questions, more of a comment from Sachin Bahal. Hey, Sean, Todd, I really enjoyed last week's episode about movies and TV. It was a nice breath of fresh air from the regular mobile news and stuff, so thanks for that. Well, thank you, and that is something we will probably do a little bit more of in the future, especially with the summer blockbuster season coming up. I will ask you right now, have you started watching Daredevil yet?
No, I didn't, but I want to. I was actually talking about watching it last night, then I fell asleep. So
I'm only 7 episodes in. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I don't feel you have to be knowledgeable of the Daredevil character to get it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's real. It's some of the cinematography. That's the word I was going for.
Cinematography.
Beautifully shot, well acted, well written. It's really enjoyable so far.
Cool. Actually, one of my friends did start watching it. He said it seemed like a lot of the events were like fast forwarded action. Is that true? Did you see any of that? He said it kind of looked cheesy, but I don't know if that's
no. There's one fight scene in the second episode that I won't give you too many details on, that you will notice as it goes on that you're like, they're not cutting away. They shot this in real time.
Oh, okay. So
it's over 3 minutes long.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're like, I wonder how many rehearsals they went through to get this. Because it's kind of nuts. From Enrique Luro, big question here. I want to get a smartwatch. I was looking at the Moto 360 and the LG G Watch R, but then I saw the Moto 360 second gen is coming. So I'd like to know one thing. Should I get the Moto, the LG G Watch R, or wait for Moto 360 second gen?
It's tough because I really like the Moto 360. The price has dropped. Google selling it for like $169 now. I think Amazon and Best Buy have it for $10 more, which is a really good price for that smartwatch. Is great. The only thing is I'd hate to say like, oh, go buy it, and then the Moto 362 comes out, in the coming months, because I expect it to, especially with WWDC in June, or Google I/O coming up. Where last year they sort of talked about Android Wear, and Moto 360 was there, and all these other new ones. So I kind of want to advise you to wait that long, because once that comes out, I think the Moto 360, the original price, will probably drop too. But I wouldn't be afraid. If you buy the Moto 360, it's still a great smartwatch. So I wouldn't be upset with that purchase. It's really up to you.
Well, here we go with a from Sachin Bahal. Hey guys, just a mobile game suggestion you guys should check out. 80 Days. It's $5 with no in-app purchases, but you get the game and you get that game and a few games for less than $5 in the Humble Bundle.
Awesome.
Check that out.
Check that out, yeah.
Another Moto 360 question, actually, from Benjamin McDonald. I got my Moto 360 and my battery is actually very good. I come home from a school day, 5+ hours, and come home with about 50%, but I have ambient screen mode. Is this only me, or do you also get this result?
Yeah, I can get through a full work day with ambient screen on, which I prefer because I like having the clock showing. That's the whole point of a watch to me. So yeah, that's about on a par with what I've got. And when I turn off ambient, sometimes I can get through the night into the next day a little bit too. So
I have not used the Moto 360, so I'll say yeah.
It's good. It's funny, I still wear just a classic watch most of the time.
From Kootcon123, what do you think about the LG G4 leaks?
Yeah, well, We'll be at the event. I think it's next week, right? Coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not crazy about the leather back. Maybe I'm the only one. I saw a lot of people online like that, and I think the one on the Moto X is a little different. It's smoother. This I don't like the stitching, and some people actually really did. I'm not. No, but we'll see what actually comes. And maybe it's not all leather. Maybe there's other stuff. But I'm excited to see what it offers. Quad HD, another Quad HD phone. That's always good. Faster. Build on the G3, which is still a fantastic smartphone. I mean, it still competes with everything else out there.
I didn't use the G3 except for like a minute here or there. I carried the G2 for a while.
Yeah.
I really liked the G2. I thought the G2 was a great phone. I have to agree with you though, Todd. I'm not a fan of this whole leather trend or faux leather backs and all. No thanks.
Yeah, stick to metal. I don't know. I'd rather see LG follow Samsung and Apple and HTC and just try to do something with metal. So the G3 was great, but it was kind of fingerprinty and it was metallic, which just means looks like metal. It's plastic. And I'm also, I got to be honest, I'm not crazy about Snapdragon 810 these days. I mean, I have it in the M9 here, and I just can't tell, like that it's much better. Like I feel like last year with new flagships and stuff, you like really felt like it was just a big bump, and I just don't really see that with Snapdragon 810. I can't like get my mind around it. But Exynos has been, it seems pretty quick on the Galaxy S6 and S6 Edge. So I don't know, we'll see.
I honestly, I never really think about processors in that fashion. I'm just like, this phone's slow.
Yeah, me neither.
Goodbye.
I'm more like, can it handle what I'm throwing at it? Most of phones these days can, at least for a couple months, and they start to seem to slow down or whatever. But yeah, camera is important to me, and those extras. Like, I really like the wireless charging in the Galaxy S6, and I'd like to see all of those features make their way. Then it becomes standard.
From Sean the Man 34, will we see mobile gaming come to the Apple Watch? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's already a game, right? We covered that.
Yeah, we have a story coming up later about a game called Watch Quest coming from, I cannot remember, from Way Forward. And it works in conjunction with the iPhone. The iPhone will act like the base of operations, but you will do the majority of the game on the Apple Watch.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so there is actually already a movement to bring gaming to the Apple Watch.
Yeah, I've never I know there's games for Pebble and stuff. I've never really had a desire to play a game on my watch. But
me either.
Me either.
From Mark Eric Lane, what smartwatches, if any, will be announced at Google I/O? We usually have a general idea, at least speculation about smartphones, but what about watches?
Yeah, I don't know. I think probably the new Moto 360. I don't know. LG just announced some back at IFA, end of February, early March. So I don't know that they're going to be ready for new ones. Samsung seems to be doing its own thing with Tizen. Maybe we'll see something from Asus, but they just announced their own Vivo watch earlier this week that doesn't run Android Wear, but they could follow up with something new. I don't know. It'll be really interesting to see what Google is doing with that on that front.
It should be interesting.
I want to see like Android Wear, like 2.0. Because I think it's time for
that. Also from Mark Eric Lane, hey Todd, I spy your Jersey Shore stuff back there. Jersey represent.
Yeah, there's supposed to be the train stations on the way down, at all the shore towns, but some of them aren't, or they're out of order and stuff. I think I got it like IKEA or something. But, go Jersey.
From Benjamin McDonald, do you think that Moto in maybe 3 years will be the new Apple? And if so, do you think that they will buy themselves out of Lenovo?
No.
Hey, don't get us wrong. We love Motorola around here. Big love for Motorola, but I don't see that happening, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Motorola Mobility is now part of Lenovo, and I think that's where it'll stay. Unless Lenovo sells it. But they're not going to buy themselves out of Lenovo.
From Sachin Bahal, have you checked out the Apple Watch yet? I know I have not had an opportunity to do so yet.
I was in the Apple store, so I saw them, but I didn't put it on my wrist. I was there to check out the new MacBook, and I ultimately went with the MacBook Pro with Retina. The MacBook, I was with my wife, too, and we were both looking at it should we get it? It really feels and looks kind of like a netbook, and I just can't swallow that price for that. And Core M for me hasn't been powerful enough, and I was reading the reviews, that other people have. We have one out in Irvine now. I just couldn't do it. I don't know. I think I needed a little more power. And, in general, what we do is just browse the web and write. And even still, I was like, I can't. If I wanted something like I already have a netbook. And even the Apple Store guy was like, it's more of a secondary computer, to be honest. So,
yeah,
I don't know if
exactly.
he's supposed to be saying that.
And I've got a Chromebook for that. So, yeah.
And like right now, I have this hooked up to, I have microphone plugged in. I have a 7-port USB hub. I have a 32-inch screen right here, another screen over to my left. Like I don't think I could do that without, jumping through hoops on the
right. I've got 2 USB hubs connected to this iMac. I've got a USB keyboard, a USB mouse, 2 monitors, this mic. No, I just, it won't work for people like us, unfortunately. But speaking to Brazen Franco's question, first 24 hours impression on the MacBook, neither Todd or I have spent any time with the MacBook other than Todd in the
store, right? Yeah,
looking at it.
I like the keyboard though; it's kind of neat. The keys are really shallow. It's different.
Yeah, I need to try that out and see.
Yeah, well, and I plan to write an article about this and also the Ion. We were talking about the glass on the Apple Watch Sport, but Force Touch. To me, I was talking to one of our staffers, Brandon, yesterday, and so it's on this new Pro. And if you didn't tell me this thing hadn't changed, I wouldn't have noticed. Like it just feels, I don't know, the same to me. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm probably the only one that says that. But like people have said that the trackpad doesn't actually move, and it does. When I push it, I can watch it move. It's just that it has like a balanced click throughout the whole thing, and then the feedback is caused by, whatever the Force Touch thingy majingy is underneath. But it's not like a physical click, I guess. But it does bend. It's just when the laptop's off, it's solid. I don't know.
I don't know. Especially with key action, I want to feel what's going on. So I will have to try that new keyboard.
Oh, and the Force Touch too. Like you can hold long on a word in Safari, but I don't use Safari, so it's like I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way to get a Force Touch trackpad. Is what I'm saying. It's neat.
David, I see your question about RAM. If you could be more specific, which of our computers you're talking about. From Sean the Man 34, do you think 1 million Apple Watches sold in the US on the first day is low, or do you think they sold more than expected?
I think they probably met expectations. I don't know. It's definitely not low. Android Wear took 720,000 units in 6 months. So considering Apple did that in 24 hours, maybe is a lot. It's not official yet. And then Pebble took a year to get to 1 million, a little over a year, I guess. So I think it's pretty crazy that they sold that many, if it's true.
Yeah, I don't know, but to me, the first weekend of sales with any Apple product is you have to, while they're huge, you also have to somewhat remove the fanaticism out of those numbers. To me, the more telling thing is how the watch does from here on out.
Right.
Which, knowing Apple, they won't tell us anything.
Yeah, because people want the latest and greatest from Apple, and so they're ordering it and not lining up in stores, as Apple doesn't want people to do. Not that you could even buy them in stores, which I think is weird. And what? And even on the 24th, when it launches, it's not going to be in stores. And the MacBook, they don't even have a date. When I was in, they were like, "Oh, well, we should have it on the 24th, the same day as the Apple Watch. We're not sure, but if you order it, it'll come in a couple of days." And I was like, "What is going on? This is weird."
It's a very odd setup. Very odd.
But yeah, that's a good point. I'd say how many does it sell in the first year? Let's see what that is.
From Benjamin McDonald, right now I have a MacBook Pro 13-inch 2010. In Sweden, we get a free one from school. Well, I need to move to Sweden and go to school.
Yeah, right.
I've been thinking about buying a Surface 3 as a secondary computer. Do you think I should buy one? I also have a gaming PC, so I don't really need a gaming machine. Honestly, if you're looking for just space operations, I would say a Chromebook.
Mm.
It totally depends on what you want to do with that secondary machine. You know, to me, when someone says secondary machine, I'm thinking just like web browsing, email, light video viewing. You know, you're not doing any sort of heavy lifting with it.
Yeah.
While the Surface is more versatile, the Surface is also considerably more expensive.
Yeah, it starts at what, $499 now, and then you have to buy the keyboard.
Right. So
it's an added processor, which you can find in other notebooks.
Yeah. So I would say if you're just looking for something to do very light computing with, I would look at a Chromebook before I would look at a Surface.
Yeah.
From Roy Lambright. If Microsoft released a Zune phone years ago, would they be doing any better, or would they still be behind everyone in terms of market share?
No, they would not be doing better. It would have flopped like the Kin 1 and the Kin 2.
Microsoft, I don't get it. I've said this before on this show. I actually like Microsoft peripherals. I'm using a Microsoft keyboard and a Microsoft mouse with a Mac. I
have a Microsoft mouse too.
I really enjoy their computer peripherals. Anytime they go beyond that in hardware, things go wonky. It's very bizarre. And like Todd said, I mean, the Kin 1 and the Kin 2 were spectacular disasters.
Yeah.
The Zune brand name, we could do a whole show just on what went wrong with the Zune.
See, I liked the Zune, but I was like the only one. It was one of my first reviews. I was in college.
Well, Todd, were you part of the social?
No. But I actually wrote about this social and how it was like this, they wanted like this counterculture, this cool thing, and then Brown.
Our first device is going to be UPS Brown.
Yeah, like what?
And the Zune name never made sense. And that's not to say that iPod made a ton of sense when it first arrived.
Right.
But Microsoft did so much wrong with both the Zune and the Kins and other I don't think they would be doing any better, unfortunately.
Yeah, and remember, they were still making phones at that time. They were just Windows Mobile, and then they switched to Windows Phone. Selling software for phone.
Benjamin McDonald clears up on the second computer. I was thinking more like watching movies on airplanes and trains than a tablet, a pure tablet. Although you could pick up a Surface without the keyboard.
Yeah, it's still $499.
At that point, I would say it depends on what ecosystem you're in. If you've been buying your movies on, say, Google Play or on iTunes, or if you've been torrenting them, we're not saying nasty things towards you, but just in case you've been torrenting them,
get one with a micro SD card slot.
Yeah, I would say then maybe I would go Surface. From Mark Eric Lane, what's on your wish list for the new Android Wear? I have NFC and biometrics, a fingerprint sensor for payments on the watch, but what else would you like to see? I would say NFC would be great. I fully agree with you on that one. Biometrics, I'm still not sold on their usefulness.
Yeah, I don't know that we need that. I mean, it's the same like the Apple Watch doesn't have a fingerprint sensor on it. It just connects to your phone. NFC for payments, I guess, would be neat, or for sharing or something like that. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out. I think the whole industry is like, what are these good for? And for me, it seems to be mostly notifications, but so long as I can manage those notifications, because I don't want everything. I just want some things and stuff that matters. And I don't know that I really care to use my watch to make a payment, but
in wearables in general, I 100% agree with you, Todd. It feels like we're part of a giant beta test still.
Yeah. So what do these things do?
Yeah, it's not even so much a beta test. It's more like market research.
Yeah, seriously.
What are these? let's sit in the corner and watch what they try to do with them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a sociologist watching monkeys. You know, it's like, you know,
Yeah.
today the big one used his watch. It's very odd, and you know, a lot of people are like, you know, I didn't order an Apple Watch. I just was not that interested, you know, and I'm still using the Pebble. And to me, I was having a long talk with Joey, our gaming editor, the other day. He does not see the appeal of the smartwatch yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, he and I ended up in a very long discussion about why I like using a smartwatch. And I told him, you know, to me, it freed me from my phone to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
He was viewing it as tying him, you know, yourself down to the phone more. But no, it has freed me from the phone somewhat, because, you know, most people, when you pull out your phone, you're like, oh, I don't need to respond to that. Well, as long as I've got my phone out, let me look this up.
Right.
And then let me look that up. With the Pebble, I just, you know, I don't need to deal with that. And that's the end of my interaction with my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, the simpler the smartwatch, the more useful it is.
Yep. And you know what I
think, if I get an app, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, one thing I'd say is that I could use more location-based information too, because that's one of the things where you always have to pull out your phone. Like, I'd like it if it knew that I was next to the subway and that it just brought up the next train times and stuff like that. Or, you know, in the future brought up my payment card. Then we could use NFC, and then I could just hit the turnstile and go through. Like, that would be neat. And doing it automatically. I don't want to have to pull it up. I don't, you know, can it know, you know, through using sensors that I'm at the gate for checking into my flight and just pull up my boarding pass, like that kind of stuff. That would be useful to me.
That would be great. I mean, well, I mean, there's a
there's a Google paper boarding passes
anyway. There's a Google app called Field Guide, mm-hmm. which it makes a sound when I'm near like historical locations.
Yeah, that's a cool app.
Yeah, it's a great app. So use something like that. You know, it could be set up through a beacon system. Okay, I now know you. Okay, my phone picks up the signal. I am near gate A7. Mm-hmm. That means I'm near my flight. That means it's time to populate the watch with my boarding pass.
Right. And it seems like we're getting there. Like, that's what iBeacons are for, and beacons in general. You know, or getting around a stadium, like, where's my seat and stuff like that. It's just that I feel like the watch needs to be smarter instead of just this thing. Yeah, I don't know. With notifications I don't care about.
Yeah. Benjamin, seeing your response about you burn your own Blu-rays, yeah, go Windows then. And in case you haven't noticed, Mark Eric Lane is talking to you in the comments. So, which we welcome. Guys, have a discussion. Let's see here. We've got time for one more question. So let me just scroll through these. As always, we have more questions than we have time, and we greatly appreciate it of you guys. We like to see so much interaction with you. Well, I'll take this one since it's a little different. From Kudakan123, Sean, favorite headphones. I'm not a fancy headphones guy. When I fly, I use Bose Quiet Comfort 15s for sound canceling. These are, I can never remember their name. There you go.
Audio-Technica?
Yeah, Audio-Technica. I don't know why. Luckily, it's printed right there for me.
John Quatch also loved those.
Yeah, no, these are great headphones. These are called studio headphones. They're built for this type of work, although there have been people that have commented that I should just wear earbuds and not wear the giant headset, but I like my giant headset. So yeah, I'm not real big. Todd, do you have any favorite headphones?
I don't. You know, the problem is I end up breaking them all or something like that. So I typically stay cheap. I just have these, you know, the Apple ones here. I have a desk full of, like, you know, what are they, skull candies and stuff you buy at Radio Shack for like $10, and you can pay like $2 to get them replaced once a year or something like that.
I found the other day, I got so tired of these just laying on my desk. I was like, you know, there's got to be some sort of headphone gadget. And unfortunately, I can't take it off. But over here now on my desk, I found there's a hook that was made by Audio-Technica that was built for these. And
just get a mannequin head.
See, though, then that's on top of my desk again. This hangs.
I'm just kidding.
This hangs under my desk, and the bottom hook swivels, so I can like hide them under my desk when not in use. And then when I want them, I just swivel it out. And I know this is way more complicated than it needed to be. Anyway,
stuff. I just thought the mannequin head would be creepier.
Well, yeah. Which and honestly, I have a garbage bag full of mannequin heads because
you really.
Yes.
Oh man,
the styrofoam mannequin heads. For those that don't know, my mother used to own a costume shop, and she kept all of her mannequin heads when she closed it.
And they're all behind that sheet.
Yeah, yes, exactly. We also have a full-size mannequin. We have a torso mannequin. We have a animatronic Santa Claus, which is creepy. And
I used to have one of those.
I hate that thing. Well, this thing's like 6 feet tall. We have some very odd things. We also have coffins.
Oh man,
they're cardboard, so don't try. It was a costume shop, folks. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that is going to do it for this week. As always, we appreciate you joining us. If you go to the iTunes store and you search for the TechnoBuffalo Show and give us a rate and review, we do appreciate it. You can also subscribe to the show there. You can also find us on Pocket Cast. You can subscribe via RSS feed. You can find us on the Stitcher app, which means you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Basically, anywhere there are podcasts, you can find the TechnoBuffalo Show. Until next week, I'm Sean Ani. I'm the editor-in-chief of TechnoBuffalo. I've been joined by Deputy Managing Editor Todd Hazelton.
Bye, everybody.
Until next week, take it easy. Bye-bye.